really excited about when Don and his team first broached the idea. Look, Don today and ECN are known for providing a podcast to the industry. They did it for over 5 years. They did it every single week. They were credible when they did it. They just showed the medium to this industry, and this is an industry that tends to move a little bit slower with things like technology. But you know, fast forward to current day, I think again these guys were early movers. Um, I think I think we'd all agree that most people, myself included, have become visual learners, right? So I digest information better visually, and even audio. I'll count that. I think served up in snackable bites, we tend to process and retain better. And a lot of what I've learned, Khalil, from you 18 months ago, we started Experience Builders. My experience was watching the Don and Mike show and paying attention to what those guys did. So love what we've become, and I know the audience. I mean, Exhibit City News is the industry people's publication. It's the place you go. As Don mentioned, if you want to know what people in the industry are doing, and we are a very communal tribe, right? We love to know what each other are up to. So people on the move, you feel great when you see colleagues being promoted or companies that are being successful. Yes, you track what your competitors are up to, and yet you begrudgingly have to give them a high five when you see that. So the ECN website and the publication was just, it's how our industry plugs in. When I think about the audience that we're building at Experience Builders, which is people that work in the business event space, I know they're on ECN. So that long way to say, when the opportunity to align and put this product out on Don's website, it just seemed like a natural. There's tens and tens of thousands of visitors that go to the ECN website, and we think many of them are interested in our offering, and I'm excited to learn if that's the case in the next 12 months. So,
Yeah. And Don, you've been running ECN for 30 years now. And you told us before we talked here uh, about the new slogan that you guys have, true to the trade. What does that mean? Why is that kind of the march going forward?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Yeah, it sort of came on suddenly. It made such good sense that the minute I heard the words strung together, I go, that's it. And it's sort of like bringing everything full circle. When you think about what has Exhibit City News meant to the industry for 30 years, we're true to the trade, and it's the only place we've been, and we follow people through their whole careers. We follow their kids through their careers. It's a unique position for certain.
Don,
Yeah.
I love the phrase. I'm sorry I didn't think of it. I mean, it's our DNA too, right? We launched last year, built for partnerships, because we've turned away from any exhibitor brand direct business. We only serve the trade. We are true to the trade ourselves. So the structure, our processes, even the way we hire people, we have no business development people. They're our partners. Without them, we have no work. So we're all in with that same spirit of being true to the trade. So love
Yeah.
what you did. Love what you did.
Yeah. It's great. And I mean, same thing with this podcast. We want it to be true to the trade. We want it to be for the people that are in the business of events. That's our slogan for Experience Builders, a show about the business of events. And so with that, we're not going to be releasing episodes twice a week or anything like that. Not something that we can keep up with because we want to have such good quality over quantity in our show. I want to talk about what that quality means. What is a quality piece of content, whether it's an episode or a clip from an episode, all the way to an article, a newsletter, whatever ECN is putting out? What do you look for in a quality piece of content for this space?
Well, what we look for is what affects people's pocketbooks. Is like what are the main things? People got to pay their bills. They got to save for retirement. They got to pay college. There's no shortage. And with inflation and everything lately, it rings truer today than in the past. But what affects people's pocketbooks? And then also of importance is to give credit to the industry, and the people that work in it. And you can't put a quantity on something like that. But those are the two things. I mean, look at some of the content you guys have already had in your 20 episodes so far. Yeah. Dan Sarabin, EDPA, Michael McMahon, talking about important things about repopulating the industry. And that's what it's all about. That affects people's pocketbooks too.
Great point, Don. You cannot go wrong. The internet rewards authenticity, right? And listeners will reward meaningful, relevant, usable information. They're experts at knowing if they feel like they're being sold or hustled something. So again, the approach we've taken is bring on really smart people. And we spend a great deal of time making sure we're matching up the right guest with the right topic. We want subject matter experts. Michael McMahon talking about workforce. It just couldn't have been any better fit. Dan Sarabin talking about the economy and really, is it the new competitor? Is it a new thing beyond, the economy back in the day, right, Don? We used to just think about what are interest rates, and recessions happen every 7 years. And now it seemed like the economy has a major shift. It could be, a social justice event. It could be an election in another country. It could be news coming out about one of our elected officials, and the market swings left and right. So as business owners and leaders, I'm constantly thinking about that and how it affects my business. So want to have the right people talking about the right subjects. And so far, we've done great. We had a great interview. You mentioned, Don, you were just out in Boston visiting Will Work for their annual meeting and their Will Work University program. I saw we had Noel Webster, one of their top young people, talking about working remotely a few months back. Blown away about what you think you might know about remote workers, right? Are they as productive? Is there real value there? And then you talk to somebody and you realize how absolutely all in on their job. It's not a job. They've made it a lifestyle choice. So they can work for great companies, even though it may not be located locally there. So anyway, those are the topics that come up. These are what business leaders are talking about on their own anyway. We just think it's let's expand the conversation, bring those experts in and bring more people in, because so many of us in business are struggling with those same issues and trying to slay the dragons of whatever those topics are.